Boys, we got an amazing video for you. I have the top 16th, ninth place, Edward Newgate, Freddie Ayala. Am I saying that name right?
Correct, you're saying it right.
Absolutely amazing performance. Just happened the online regionals on the 23rd. He was able to come up on top. Obviously, this is the Whitebeard pre-restrictions, but we still wanted to interview him, talk to him about his experience, and maybe you get some insights about the deck, and maybe even talk about what else we could learn in the future to change our decks. So we're going to go ahead and talk to Freddie. How are you, Freddie, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Man, congratulations on your victory. Tell us about the tournament. How was it? How was the PPG event ran?
Well, I'll start off by saying it was longer than usual because this one went to 10 rounds.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, and what the worst part of it was I took my loss in the first round. So every time it was sudden death, right? Top 16. If I didn't go for 9 straight, I wouldn't have made it to the top 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you saw your death pretty early. You know, some people will say that's a curse, but others will take it as a blessing. You know, gives them a little bit of energy, motivation. Do you feel like it helped you losing that first round, or do you feel like you were gonna perform well no matter what, and it was just a fluke that you lost?
Well, unfortunately,
basically, how confident were you going into the event?
Well, I mean, it really just depended on the matchups. I knew like the hardest matchup was probably Lucci, but fortunately, I didn't see any Luccis. It's not an impossible match to win. You know, it's just it's more tedious than the others, right? Because they can double swing, they can knock out Marcos pretty easily, and they just have a lot of pressure for Newgate specific.
Wow, so black is pretty bad matchup for you. No wonder some of those Rob Lucci decks are topping. What was the best matchup for you? Now that we know your worst matchup is Rob Lucci, what was your best matchup? What were you confident going against, and you just felt very easy to play against in this deck?
Well, actually, I think the hardest matchup, if you don't know it, for most people is the mirror, right? Because people just don't understand the mirror.
Really?
They don't, and the problem is that everyone thinks that you're supposed to go to preserve your life, right? When I play the mirror, sometimes I try not. I just want card advantage and to establish blocker on the field, and that's really what won me. I played 4 Newgates, and they were all good players, but I feel like they just gave up their card advantage just to preserve their life, and it doesn't really help you when you play Newgate and you don't have much counter, right? It's just you're just basically playing a losing battle at that point. So being able to go to zero life and be confident with that is really what wins the mirror.
So is that what you mean? They didn't understand to play against it? They actually guarded a little bit early when they should have been confident taking those hits and increasing their hand size and getting ready for the late game?
Absolutely. So I would swing 8 multiple times, and you know with Whitebeard, when you have 1 life and you're not able to Newgate, that's basically a free life, right? Because you're not gonna, it's just gonna go straight to your hand. So
exactly.
Yeah, people would try to preserve their life when you hit them with 8, and they would lose a lot of counter.
Oh my God!
I just didn't think it was worth it. Sometimes, a lot of times I Newgated when I have 0 life because I had a ton of counters. So it's like, yeah, I have 0 life, you can end me, but I have Marco on board and a lot of counters, so I'm not scared really.
Amazing. So you actually went against 4 other Whitebeards. What were the other matchups?
5 Zoro, 5 Zoro, yeah, and a 1 Black Yellow Mom, which was random, but poor them. They didn't see the cards they needed. They got bursted down. Pretty much they lost before I even was able to Newgate. So it's like, wow.
Wow. So you actually feel like you're very good against Zoro. So this was a really good matchup for you.
Yeah, I think with Zoro, I mean, if you see double Newgate, they pretty much lose, even if they have double Marco. You just gotta be able to have have them at either low counter or low life. And what I did with the deck is I really play aggressively. So usually when they were at 2 life, they had double Marco. I was swinging at them very aggressively. So on that last turn, they would have to go all in. That put them in a position where they either go all in or they lose. And most of the time, I never made the tough decision. It was them that made the final push, and they failed at it a lot, like all of them. So it's just playing defensively and letting them go all in and fail was my strategy with this.
Amazing, amazing. All right, I want to get into to dive deep into your deck. I have a lot of questions for your deck, brother. I have questions for why only two Mass Deuce, why Mass Deuce in general, and I also want to learn about the value between King Dew and Thatch. You've played a lot of Whitebeards, so tell us a little bit about your Mass Deuce decision here. A lot of Whitebeard decks that I've seen topping before. We've covered a lot of top 16 decks. And they haven't been using any of this Mass Deuce. Tell us a little bit about your mindset behind the Mass Deuce. And then I do want you to talk about King Dew over Thatch and why vanillas are so valuable in a Whitebeard deck as well, if that's possible.
Yeah, so Mass Deuce is really the MVP against Law, and it's pretty good against Zoro, right? People don't really give Law the respect it deserves, but I'd say like this is your hardest matchup, this is your hardest matchup, but I really do think that Law can be one of your hardest matchups if you don't have knockout power. And being able to start off early and like just oppress them with a 5 to the, if you go second, you could play Mass Deuce, and then on turn 3, you're at 4 Dawn, you smack 3 on Mass Deuce, and you pop their blocker because they're always playing their blocker. They're playing something valuable. You knock it out, and then they either have to take the life or block or give you a 2K. Most of the time they take the life, and then you're like, okay. You smack one more Dawn on Whitebeard, and it's 7, and then they have to take that life too, and they're at 2 life, and they're missing a character, and it's really oppressive. And especially when you run the Vistas in there, you're able just to keep knocking stuff out for cheap, and it serves as a swinger, right? With Law, most of the time, if they don't have the 6K 5 cost Law, you can just swing at 5, and they're not gonna counter because they need their small counter hands, right? So you're just smacking at 5 and 7, and then those are the numbers that will get them, to lose. As far as King Dew goes, I would say King Dew. Oh, for me, I don't like playing Whitebeard. People like playing Thatch, and they like playing it. Big bodies that will stick. But I felt like for me, I found the most success with being aggressive and being able to play cards and use the rest of the Dawn to play aggressive, right? And Thatch to me was too much of a it was too heavy, right? Most of the time, 8,000. You're swinging at 8,000. It's not a good number unless you're playing against Whitebeard.
Okay.
And yeah, and in the mirror, I guess it's good in the mirror. But I feel like for the mirror, at the end of the day, you're both gonna nugate. So, and you're gonna have blockers. So 8,000 is good, but I think being able to be aggressive with the extra Dawn is a better choice. So like that one Dawn, especially, I think Atmos is like the king, right? Because being able to play him on turn 2 and just keep swinging, it's just really what makes you win the game. So
Atmos is extremely necessary, but you are actually able to kind of switch between King Dew and Thatch based on your own playstyle. Maybe some people could like, maybe they're getting ready for more of a mirror match tournament, and so Thatch would be more value there. From what I'm hearing from you, at least, like in the mirror match, I see the value in Thatch because you're hitting that 8K number, which is a very strong number against Newgate. Also, King Dew, I guess if you're going against a lot of Zoro decks, a lot of Katakuris, then you're hitting that magic number as well. So I guess it could be possible that is what maybe from what I'm hearing from you is depending on what you're expecting, you could go between Thatch and King Dew, or do you just see no value in Thatch at all? Based on your own play testing?
Well, I feel like the most popular deck you ran into, and I did it myself, with 6 Zoros, and I think into Zoro, it's just not really that good. A reason I have a King Dew there is because it's awesome against Zoro, right? Because 7K, you don't got to commit any extra Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
And, if they Otama Jet Pistol it or Otama Fire Fist, then they're losing a lot of value there. They can Otama Jet Pistol Thatch, but I don't know, something about playing with Thatch is very slow, right? That Dawn is the difference between you playing, let's say you're on 6 Dawn, you play King Dew, you attach 1 Dawn, swing 7, and they either take the life or use a blocker. Most of the time they counter out, or it just really depends, they give you a Radical Beam. But, if you just play Thatch straight up and then attack for 6, they can easily counter that.
I'm with you on that. I really see more value in King Dew. I honestly was very surprised to see so many Whitebeard top decks running Thatch. Now, to be fair, they were running a lot of them were running King Dew as well, and Atmos. They were basically running the whole lineup of vanillas. But yeah, I saw a lot of Thatch, at least 3 offs, And so I was just wondering if there's more value in Thatch. Was there something I wasn't seeing? But I guess it just depends on the matchup. Also, like you said, honestly, I think I prefer the King Dew. I mean, you can play it early. A lot of people are going to force you to go first. So if you're going Thatch, you're going to have to wait a whole extra turn to play your big vanilla. Whereas if you're going first, and you're able to go King Dew turn 3. So at least you get that at one turn early. Now I'm thinking of it like everyone's gonna force you to go first so that you can pick up your life. That's how I'm thinking of it. So I do see the value in King Dew, but yeah, nice to pick your brain there. Thank you so much for your inspiration here. I mean, we gained a lot of value here. I want you to tell us uh, how do you think the post-restriction, the restriction of the Radical Beam, restriction of Whitebeard, and the Marcos are going to affect your deck? Is it possible Whitebeard is not viable at all anymore, and you're going to just scrap him and look for another deck to play, or are you going to try to make him work?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to make them work a little bit, right? It's gonna be rough. It's not gonna be as consistent as it once was, but I mean, I've been testing around. I mean, you obviously still crush yellow. I just think that no matter what you do, Newgate is just gonna be a big counter to yellow, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think just the hardest matchup now might be if you see it's gonna force Zoros to be really aggressive. So that's just gonna be a matter of being able to prepare for that, and also, I mean, you're probably going to see the resurgence of like green again. You might see, the film kid running around. I just don't know yet, but if you do see that, being able to build something to counter Zoro and Kid is going to be rough. But I mean, you do have the ace to really to help you out to clear board, and just rush. It's a great card. I think you should still be able to make this deck work. It's just going to be more of a OPO2 setup, where when I played OPO2 and I got fourth, I ran a lot of blockers and just hid behind my blockers and counter. And I mean, it's going to be the same deal here. Just you won't have the new gates to enforce. I'm testing running 2 Shanks and seeing how that works.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what would you switch out. Let's do a live switching out. You want to make Whitebeard work. I just heard you say you're going to try to make him work. So let's get rid of these Marcos because we can't use them anymore. Let's get rid of these Radical Beams, and let's get rid of the new gate. Are we running any new gate at all?
I think running the 1-of is still fine. I mean, if you're running the 1-of and the 1-of Marco, you're able to trash it, with the Marco if you draw it. And if you draw the new gate and playing it at 9 Dawn isn't bad because it's like a permanent guard point. So it's really good, actually. Since most decks aren't going to run it, and if you're able to see it and play it on curve, it's just like gives you an advantage. And the 1-of tech.
What if we just do this? Look at that.
Let's see what we got.
Let's see what we got. We got a Masked Deuce at 4. Atmos at 4. King Dew at 4. Running the Ace at 4. We're going to drop down the new beard to not 1. But basically the same lineup, we just increase the guard points.
Well, I have a build that I've been testing that I like a little bit. I think one blocker that people just seem to sleep on that I think it's really going to be what stops. It's going to be like what I call the blocker that's the Zoro Stomper is Lim. Have you seen Lim? I think Lim's a phenomenal blocker because it has a built-in minus 2k, which will put like you're able to block 2 attacks with it.
I know what you're talking about. She gives minus 2k. Really?
Yep.
That's going to be value?
LIM. Yeah, I think it's LIM.
Because you get the block and you get the reduction. Okay, so it acts like a Hell's Judgment.
Yep, and I think when you're playing Zoro, being able to stop 2 attacks with just 3 Dawn is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm going to find the card right now. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's right here, Lim.
Yep.
With the M.
I think if you want to run Newgate, you have to run 4 of this card, just in case you went to Zoro. You just play him early on, and I mean, if he gets Marco, or I mean, it really just depends on how they're curving, right? If they're going to be able to play Marco on curve, you just don't want to play it yet. You play it late game after you establish either a Marco, you establish some other big hitters. You play it when you're like at like 9, 10 Dawn, and you're able to keep Dawn up. And if they knock it out for free, you're able to minus 2K on one of their hitters, and then they have to like either power it up even more or like choose to not attack. So I think this is a really good blocker that people aren't really given the credit it deserves because it was overshadowed by the Marcos.
It also can shut down stuff like Kid, stuff
Oh yeah,
like Kuru, because you can hit the leader
exactly.
with this. That's actually
Yes.
huge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Like if I see Kid and I have this blocker, it's going to be the MVP because they're not going to really. Oh, I don't know. I don't think they have any knockout power. I guess they could rest it, but if you have two of them on the board, usually I was able to get two on board for 6, and then leave one up for a guard point. It works because being able to do minus 2K kind of stops them from being super aggro, especially Kid.
Yeah, people are saying its only downfall is it's not searchable, and
It's not
also
searchable. Yeah.
yeah, it's unsearchable. It's also a 3 cost for 2, but still can see value from that blocker. So there's a possibility in a lot of options. I saw a lot of Whitebeards running Strawbeard now. I see I see options of being able to just run a bunch of blockers like you were talking about, maybe a bunch of limbs, a bunch of those Fusas, maybe even find any other red blockers like Tony blockers and just wall up and wait for your vanillas to do all the damage and work, or your ace to land. But yeah, there's so much new potential. So in the future, you think Whitebeard is going to work? Are you going to keep playing tournaments? And what's the next tournament you're gonna get into then?
Yeah, I'm scheduled to play this upcoming tournament on Saturday, I believe. I'm
Already?
debating. Yeah, I'm debating if I want to play Whitebeard. I mean, it's the deck I'm mastered the most at. So I mean, I might try it, give it a try, and see how it goes. It's gonna be rough though because the inconsistency of it. But I'm gonna give it a couple of tests this week and see how it goes against Zoro, against Blue Chi, against Katakuri, and then if it performs well, which on the simulator has been performing well, but sometimes the simulator people are new, so you can't really judge it off that. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll
Damn,
keep you informed.
I had the wrong beard up for a second, but yeah. All right, man, amazing. Thanks so much for your insight. We learned so much about the Whitebeard deck. We actually built a whole new post-restricted deck. I mean, that's it's potential deck. I'm sure you can go so many different ways. Like I said, you can go Straw Hats, kind of Whitebeard. I've seen decks running Nami buggies, going super offensive now post restriction, and just running a bunch of aces, a bunch of these vanillas, and just pushing as hard as possible. But yeah, there's so many ways we're gonna see. I would love for you to go and give us a tournament report. Of course, you have to top. But yeah, give us a tournament report when you come back and tell us how that Whitebeard. Honestly, I think that would be insane for you to test it out, and it would be something new that nobody went against. So, like you said, already Whitebeard people struggle going against. So being able to switch out that deck and still perform at a high level, I'm very interested to see how you would do. I think you would do very good. But yeah, any final thoughts? The floor is yours. Any shout outs, anything you want people to jump on and follow you at, please let us know where we can find you and we'll talk to you more.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't be using social media too much, but I mean, obviously your Discord, definitely, I'll be in there. So if any of your members or you have anyone that has questions about Newgate, even post restriction, I'm definitely willing to talk about it. I definitely don't think the deck's going to be horrible. It's just not. It's just going to take a lot more. Maybe I think after one tournament, seeing how it does, you'll be able to see if it's what you need to add to it and what actually is going to be the next deck people are going to be using a lot. And I mean, I really think it's going to be Zoro because, as I said, I played 6 Zoros. And I mean, this was pre-restriction, so I'm pretty sure 6 Zoros is going to end up being 7. Who knows? Definitely going to see a whole bunch this time around.
That's true. Zoro
But
did not really get damaged in any way. Actually, he gets really aggressive now, having the freedom to just run. No more Marcos, no more blockers at all, just full offense. and just kind of bash faces. Yeah. I think we're gonna see a huge influx of Zoros. Of course, it's the second most comfortable deck for a red player. So I'm not gonna just say that the leader's broken. I'm also gonna say, you know, people are comfortable with the color. I'm not gonna talk too much shit about him, not in this video.
Oh yeah, the Zoro people will get mad if you talk shit, but
I
no,
mean, everyone
definitely.
is a Zoro player tomorrow in the next
Oh
tournament.
yeah,
So
everybody's gonna
I
be
can't piss
Zoro.
off everybody. It's like, you know what I mean?
But yeah, yeah, no, I feel you. But definitely, you know what? Actually, I feel like I'm gonna play Newgate for this tournament. Hopefully, I don't get smashed. Hopefully, I at least make top 64. But I'll keep you in the loop and let you know how I do.
Amazing. Hey, as we've talked about before, guys. Actually, I didn't mention this, but Fred X Talk, that's his name in our Discord. He's been a day one in our Discord, so I'm very proud of my baby, my baby boy.
Of course.
But no, absolutely amazing champion. Amazing work. We discuss a lot of things in the Discord. Make sure you guys join. I'll leave a Discord link down below. Jump on there. You can talk to Freddy. Fred X Talk is his name. I'll leave you guys his name as well, so you guys can hit him up. Talk to him about the Newgate theory. I think we're gonna get at least 100 Discorders from this.
No, I mean, if people really dying to know the secrets of Newgate and how I have Instagram Freddy underscore the QT, the letters Q and T. But I mean, that's for the diehard Newgate fans that like want up top. You know, I'll help you out.
Amazing. I'm gonna leave that link down below as well in the description. You guys hit him up. Make sure you guys show him some love, and make sure you show me some love. Jump on my Discord. Subscribe to my channel. Send me all your monies. I mean, send me, if not, send me a cookie or two. I'll take that. And then besides that, make sure you watch my videos till the end. I swear to God, the ghost of my videos past will come and haunt you if you don't finish the videos. Besides that, guys, appreciate you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.